Hey guys, it is Monday here in West Virginia, so it's time for us to do our Mopar Monday as usual. And today we're taking a look at a few older M2 machines that, I don't know, a couple of them are from the early days, like when M2 first came out, and the other one is a little bit later. We have a Detroit Muscle Release 5, a Release 10, and Release 27. And Release 27 is actually a really cool and unique release, especially if you're a Mopar fan. So we'll start with the oldest one first, and we'll keep on going with them. And I only put one screw in the base, so it kind of got a little crooked here. This is a 1966 Dodge Charger, and it's from Release 5. And to me, the 66 and 67s look almost identical. I think there's a few differences on the interior, but outside, I don't know. I'm not really into the first gen Charger a whole lot, but I do respect them and like them because they were the first Chargers, the foundation that the Charger was built on. So, anyways, let's get it out and take a look at it. As you can see, it's Release 5, and this one I picked up to have a couple of 66s and 7s. Well, actually 66s. I think Hot Wheels has a 67. And the Hot Wheels one is not bad, especially if you can find the premium ones from the early days. Some of those look pretty cool. But, yeah, I just stuck with the M2, and I have a dark blue one, which is really cool. We unboxed that one probably a year ago, and it's got dark blue steel rims, the dog dish caps on it. It looks really slick. This one, however, I really like too because it's red on red, and it is wearing redline tires with the original Charger hubcaps. So that's what this thing had on it back in 66. And it looks like there's a little paint chip there. No, maybe not. I think it's dirt. Maybe. Anyways, yeah, it's moving around, so it's dirt. There we go. So, and this one is, let's see. Trying to see if it's a Hemi or 383. I think it says 383. I don't know. That looks like a Hemi to me. It looks like it's got a design to have spark plugs in the top of the heads. And it looks dual snorkel air cleaner. So I'm going to say it probably has a Hemi in it. And then that grill with the hideaway headlights, which carried on to the second gen, the 68. And Charger across the back, tail light. 1966 vanity plate. And then the aerodynamic fastback look. I guess they built the car this way because of NASCAR. They have that weird fastback design. Back in the 60s, though, in mid-60s, that was the thing that was trending were fastbacks. Even the Mustang started doing the fastback in 65 and so forth. And then the Charger came out as a fastback. And then we had the Barracuda fastbacks and all kinds of stuff. So the next on the list for today is a copper-colored 1969 Dodge Charger Daytona Hemi. And this car is from Release 10. And this is a pretty slick-looking car. I like the more conservative look with the steel rims and the dog dish caps. Looks pretty cool. And these older releases, actually I would say all the way up to like Release 30 or 40, they kept the cars looking pretty classy, and they cared about their quality control a little bit more than nowadays. But yeah, because a lot of these newer ones, the parts don't line up, things are falling off of them, and some of the details are lacking. Even as I mentioned in some of my past videos, their Dodge truck mold is going to hell. The rear wheel opening is all deformed. I won't even buy another one. Even their poster cars, their pre-production cars that they're putting up, have messed up wheel wells, and I'm surprised they haven't done anything about that. It started out where it was just a couple here and there back when they released the pink SRT with the top hand truck. Those, a couple had messed up wheel openings, some were good. And then after that series, all the fleet sides started going bad. So I don't know what they're doing. They need to retool the bed. So as you can see, it's got a little metallic in the copper. Looks really good with the white tail stripe. I think I like it better than I would with a black one. A black interior. Very cool car. I don't have many Daytonas in my collection. I think this is maybe number 7. If you want to include my Joe Dirt and my junkyard ones, then I probably have 10. But for stock looking ones in my B-body collection, I only have, I think, about 7, maybe 8. And this one, the hood opens very easily. And yeah, it's got the chrome air cleaner, the Hemi valve covers, the distributor in the front. It's a really nice detail for M2 back then. Nowadays, it's not that nice. They're not even painting the motor the same color, or they're not even painting the motor. They're leaving it the same color as the interior on their square body trucks nowadays. They're really cutting corners on their production. As you can see down in there, it even looks like the shifter knob was painted and such. And then you open your door. It's got detailed door panels and such on it. And it even looks like the top of the console is detailed either in like a brown for wood grain or, yeah, I think it is like brown for wood grain. That's pretty cool. Nowadays, they don't do any of that stuff. So that's why I like these older releases, but sometimes you have to be very careful because a lot of the old releases will get paint rash. So you have to pay attention to where you're buying them from. Like, I'm very careful with buying stuff from like California, Florida, and places that have a lot of hot, humid weather conditions almost the entire year. Because that's, in my opinion, what causes a lot of the paint rashes if they're in a hot, humid climate, especially in a blister pack. The display cases aren't as bad, but I still seen it happen on some of the display cases. So anyways, this is the last one, and this guy is in the wrong box, but it's in the right series. So I know it says 1971 Dodge Charger Super B 440 R27. This is from R27, but it is not the Super B, obviously. It's a 71 Cuda 383. Now, why I was saying this series is unique, because it was a 6-car set like usual, but there were only 3 different cars, and they were all Mopars, and you had 2 different versions of each one. And they were both the same color, but with different options. For example, like this guy here is the Plum Crazy with white billboards, white interior, white top. And its counterpart, I think, was Plum Crazy, and I think it had black billboards or no billboards. And then, like the Super B, they were both in sublime green. One had dog dish hubcaps with color matched stillies, and it had a white top and white interior. The other one had Magnum 500 wheels, and it had a black vinyl top on it and black stripe. So it looked pretty cool. And then the other car that was in the series was a Daytona, and they both were silver. So that's why I was saying that was a kind of a unique release when they released this one. I'm trying to find that one. It doesn't have the sticker. So yeah, these are getting hard to find too. It took me forever to find the regular release of the Super B. Even in the Philippines, I had the Super B, but it was the Chase. The Chase was easier to find there than it was the regular. I never found the regular there, and I finally found one in the States. When you do find them, they don't go for a lot of money. They're just hard to find. I would think that they would demand more money because of the high demand for them from collectors, but they don't. They're just hard to find, though. So I do like this one. I have a green light one that's almost identical to this with the white billboards and white top and such. So both companies make a nice 71 Cuda. I think I favor the M2 because of the rear part of the roof looks a little more realistic. It's not like the green light one. Although the green light one's not bad. I mean, you could tell that it has a seam around there where they can use the same casting for convertible or hardtop. But, yeah, the green light one's not bad. But I do favor the M2 machines. Nice detail with the tail lights and so forth. And the trademark gills for the 71, double headlights, and that really cool looking grill. So, guys, that is it for our video for Mopar Monday. Those are our 3 new additions to the Mopar stable. We'll be back again either tomorrow or Wednesday to crack open some lowriders for you guys. We got a lot of them coming in. As I said, I kind of made a transition from old race cars to lowriders. So we're going to be doing a lot of videos on lowriders in the coming weeks. So be sure to turn on your notification bell so you know when we drop a new video. And we will see you later on. Thanks for watching, guys, and we will be back soon.